Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, go ahead, Gil, we're live. Or Jill, excuse me, we're live.
All right, thank you. The meeting will come to order. Welcome to the September 27th, 2021 regular meeting of the West Hartford Library Board. My name is Jill Spear and I am Chair of the West Hartford Library Board. This meeting is being conducted in a virtual format in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act as amended by Public Act number 21-2, which authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings virtually. Members of the public can view the meeting live on West Hartford Community Television at www.whctv.org and on www.youtube/WHCT5. The meeting is also being recorded for on-demand viewing and will be available on the town's website for at least 45 days. Since we are conducting this meeting in a virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures that I need to cover with you before we begin. First, I ask all participants to mute your devices when you're not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I'll call on you in the order I see hands raised. If you're participating by audio only, or I do not call on you and the debate is ending, then unmute your phone and let me know so that I can recognize you. Second, all speakers must make a good faith effort to state your name and title at the onset of each occasion that you are participating in the meeting. Third, all votes must be taken by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. Fourth, a reminder that if any participant has a problem with connectivity, you should immediately call Janet Valensis, whose phone number you were provided with earlier. Janet will let me know and we'll recess the meeting while the problem is resolved. If it cannot be resolved quickly, we will ask you to call into the meeting using a phone and participate via audio only. Now we'll proceed to the roll call. Kim Cohen.
Cohen, Library Board Member, here.
Gail Crockett.
Gail Crockett, Library Board Member, present.
Eileen Daly.
Eileen, you're muted.
Eileen Daly, Library Board Member, present.
Natalia Menjbar.
Natalia Menjivar, Library Board Member, present.
Jill Spear, Library Board Member and Chair, present. Also participating are Acting Director, Library Director Carol Waxman, and Office Administrative Specialist Janet Valensis. Our next agenda item is public comment, and we have not received any public comment for this meeting. Our third agenda item is approval of the consent agenda items 4 and 8AI and 8AII. Do we have a motion for approval of the consent agenda? Chair recognizes Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, Library Board Member. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Kim. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Matter?
Chair recognizes Gail Crockett. Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. I'll now call the roll to take the vote. Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, Library Board Member, in favor.
Gail Crockett.
Stay in the den. You can stay in the den. Okay.
Gail, you're muted. I'm muting everyone when you're not speaking because we're getting some feedback, so you need to unmute whenever you speak, please. Thank you.
Sorry, Gail Crockett, Library Board Member, I second.
Eileen Daly. Eileen, can we re-record that? I think you
Eileen, you're muted. Now you're still muted. You need to unmute, honey.
Oh, I see what it is. All right, my bad. I'm sorry, my mother is here at the house this weekend, and so she was asking me something. Can you repeat what I'm supposed to be answering, please?
Yes, this is the motion for approval of the consent agenda. Eileen, for items for, which ones were they? 4 and 8AI and 8AII. We have a motion from Kim and a second by Gail, and we're voting. So do you vote?
Okay, yes,
Yes.
is my answer.
Thank you, Eileen. Natalia Menjivar.
Natalia Menjivar, Library Board Member, approve.
Thank you. And Jill Spear, Library Board Member, approve. Thank you. Our next agenda item is the chair's report. Okay, 1 second. All right. For our first item on the report, West Hartford Library Board Training, public meeting refresher. In the last year and a half, we've been conducting our meetings remotely, and we're all getting pretty adept at using our mute buttons, although you can't tell tonight, and announcing our names before we speak. Fortunately, we have folks working behind the scenes to make these virtual meetings possible, including library administrative staff, WHCTV staff, the town clerk's office, and office of the Corporation Counsel. The Office of the Corporation Counsel and the Office of the Town Clerk is further helping us by conducting a refresher course on the requirements of conducting a public meeting in person and remotely. And I want to thank the library board members and library administration staff for taking the time to attend these courses. There'll be 2 sessions available, one in September and one in October. And thank you for those members who have signed up for the September meeting, and hopefully the rest of you will be able to take it in October, or we'll make special arrangements. So thank you. Our next agenda item under President's Report is the director search. With the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination program and associated opening in the job market, the library board and its associated search committee has reopened the search for new library directors, and we are currently reviewing applications. So we're making progress. Our last item under the President's Report is about library operations. Recently, the library has received questions about and instances involving the use of internet services available at the library. The staff, as well as the library board, has addressed these according to the related policies and procedures. As always, we view such as opportunities to view and address the operations and policies for possible improvements and clarity, and so we will be doing that. So thank you. That concludes the President's Report. Our next agenda item is old business. New Community Cultural Center and Branch Library. The chair recognizes Acting Library Director Carol Waxman to give us a status update. Thank you, Carol.
Good evening, Carol Waxman, Interim Library Director. The purchase of the property at 100 Mayflower Street is an exciting opportunity for the town of West Hartford to consider planning a new multi-use municipal community center. A request for proposal is being drafted to solicit architectural firms to examine options to use and help define uses of the building. The resulting feasibility study would assess the existing Mayflower facility, evaluate renovation or new construction options, and identify probable costs for the various options. The study would provide the West Hartford community with an understanding of the challenges and opportunities of the building and the new site. It is our recommendation that the town council create a new community center advisory committee comprised of interested West Hartford community members to work with architects and town staff to evaluate issues and opportunities for the Mayflower facility and help to prioritize various potential functions of the site. The committee should include a representative from each of the following groups, plus 1 or 2 residents at large for a 9-member advisory committee. The West Hartford Public Library Board, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Commission, Senior Citizens Advisory Board, Clean Energy Commission, the Elmwood Business Association, the Mayor's Youth Council, and 2 residents at large. This committee would meet monthly or on an as-needed basis with the chosen architecture firm and appropriate town staff through the feasibility and design stages of the project. The committee would assist in facilitating community outreach and participation. An advisory committee for the new community center would allow town staff, leadership, stakeholders, and residents to work together to ensure that design and plan functions of the new facility aligns with the strategic vision of the town and leads to solutions that address the specific needs of the community. The creation of a thoughtful and supportive committee to assist the architecture firm would be valuable. And that concludes my report about the new community center.
Thank you, Carol. Questions from board members? I see no hands raised, so we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is new business, and we have no new business this month. So we'll move directly to the director's report. And because we didn't meet in July and August, Carol, those reports were submitted and they're as part of the consent agenda, so they've already been submitted. But we'll move straight to the current monthly report for September.
Thank you, Carol Waxman, Interim Library Director. I'm very happy to let you know that library hours were expanded again on September 7th to include full Saturdays until 5 p.m. at the Noah Webster Library and evening hours and Saturday hours at the branch libraries. Sunday hours will be offered starting January 9th, 2022. We will be open for 10 Sundays, not including the Martin Luther King and President's Day weekends. Sunday hours will be 12 to 4 p.m. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Tech Lab. Recent installations to the Tech Lab include a track and curtain to provide a space for filming, previously removed windows reinstalled, a green screen painted on the back wall and equipment ordered. We are moving forward and hope to open the lab to the public by the end of November, at which time all equipment will be ordered, installed, and in place, and anything physical for the room will be done. The lab will be opened a minimum of 15 hours per week to be increased slowly and staffed by our computer technicians who have a particular interest in new technologies. The smart lockers were delivered to the Bishop's Corner branch on September 14th. A happy day. They are fully installed and awaiting the software to make them accessible to the public. Patrons wishing to pick up their materials from the lockers will have a choice. When placing materials on hold, they can decide whether to pick them up inside the building or in the lockers. Library staff will fill the lockers with materials, and patrons will be sent a code to use when they arrive to pick up their materials at the lockers. The code will pop the locker open for retrieval. Once emptied, the staff will fill the locker again for the next patron. The lockers will offer pickup service at all hours, 7 days a week. Training for staff with Package Concierge, the company who creates the lockers and delivers them, will take place this week. The lockers will undergo a testing period and will then be available to the public as soon as all of that takes place. More exciting news. The study pod is expected to be delivered to the Red Thread company from which it was purchased on September 28th this week. It will be unloaded at their warehouse and checked for possible damages or problems so that when it arrives at our building, it will be perfect. It is expected to arrive at our building at least 1 or 2 weeks after it arrives at Red Thread, and it will be installed on site. A truck will pull up on South Main Street. Actually, it will be allowed, we have special permission for the truck to traverse the cobblestones in front of the library and park right in front of the building so that the pod can be unloaded and put in place in the area of the former learning lab. So we're very excited about that. Absentee ballots. The town of West Hartford absentee ballot applications will now be available in each of the West Hartford public libraries. Patrons requesting these will be directed to the adult reference desk to pick them up. The ballots can be dropped off at the election drop boxes that you may remember, one at Town Hall and one at the main entrance of the Faxon Branch Library. The ballots will go out starting October 1st to those who have requested them for this election year. If the town does not receive a completed ballot application by October 25th, the ballot will not count for the election. And we expect, since last year we were in very full COVID mode, there were many absentee ballots that had to be picked up at Town Hall. And Town Hall asked the libraries if we could help this year, even though more people may vote in person, but we thought that it was a great idea to have them available at the libraries. They are going out. People are coming to get them. Homebound services are fully back in place as they were pre-COVID. We are servicing 16 homebound patrons right now. There is room for as many that want the service. We have 2 volunteers who answer messages left by patrons requesting particular titles, or these volunteers choose books for them. And a volunteer driver makes deliveries on Wednesdays. Food backpacks. The Faxon Branch Library will continue to offer backpacks of food on the weekends to middle and high school student families. These families are served at the library so that students don't experience the stigma of going to the school office and being seen by their friends getting a bag of food. The service will be expanded and offered to families of students at King Philip Middle School and Hall High School. Those families can now pick up their bags at the Bishop's Corner branch. The Noah Webster Library previously participated in the food backpack program, but families found it difficult to park in the parking garage, come into the Noah Webster Library, and then go out through the parking garage. So that's why it's at the branches. The Mayor's Youth Council is absolutely happening finally. 11 teens from 9th to 12th grade have been chosen for the council and have had their first meeting. At the next meeting, they will choose officers and determine their action projects to begin this year. Topics for this may include development and recreation, environmental, mental health, and racial justice and social equity. The mission of the council is to learn what town officials do to be engaged and provide input. They will learn about town meetings and inform other teens about what is happening and how they can become involved. The Bear Fair continues to attract many visitors of all ages to the front and rear of the Noah Webster Library. The bears will remain on display until October 29th, at which time they will be relocated to their forever homes. Proceeds from the auction of the bears will be sent to the recipients. The bear in the front of the library near the sidewalk was painted by artist Corey Payne, who painted our mural on the side of the Noah Webster Library. All donations for this bear will be directed to the Faxon Branch Library to be used at the library's discretion. The Park Road Parade will be this weekend on Saturday morning, and the West Hartford Library will be participating fully. Even though our Celebrate All of Us initiative has been put on hold until it is safe to hold large-scale events inside the building, a group of staff will promote these events by riding on a truck that showcases 2 giant blow-up globes and flags from other countries, as well as music. The photography competition started on August 14th and lasted 1 month until September 14th. There were 3 categories for the submissions: landmark, landscape, and people, all which had to be photographed in our town. There was a first, second, and third place winner in each category. Therefore, someone had the potential possibility of winning up to $750 to $50 for first prize in each category. There were a total of 74 submissions across all categories. The winners will be announced November 1st, 2021, and the photos virtually displayed between November 14th and January 31st, 2022. The winning submissions will also be enlarged in print and on view in the Noah Webster Gallery. The 5th year of the Kindness Project is starting now. This will benefit the Town of West Hartford Food Pantry, as well as the Universalist Church Backpack Program for students. Personal hygiene items, paper goods, diapers, laundry detergent, and more are collected from our patrons, who are extremely generous, in large bins outside of the library buildings. These items are sorted, packed into labeled cartons, and delivered to their destinations to be placed on the shelves of the pantries for residents to self-select, or placed in backpacks picked up by the families at the Faxon and Bishop's Corner libraries. Families using the services of the food pantry, as well as receiving the backpacks, are extremely appreciative. The Kindness Project is a national model for the Collaborative Summer Library Programs Initiative, in which libraries promote projects to help families with basic needs. A notary public service is now in place and operational at the Noah Webster Library and soon at the Faxon Branch Library. The service is free of charge and available Monday through Friday by appointment only. Adult programs continue to be virtual and are definitely well attended, with upwards of 100 people attending some of the programs. Teen programs remain virtual. Children's programs are being held mostly outdoors on the patio area in the rear of the building on the children's floor, as well as on the front lawn space. When the weather is inclement, the program is moved inside. Children's programs are limited to 10 children in each. In late fall, we will assess how many children's programs will be held during the winter months. There is a possibility that children over the age of 5 may be eligible for the vaccine, but for children under 5, for which our preschool programs are held, this may not be an option, and all of this information will influence how we plan our winter programming for children. Adult library programs in September included an author event, Lead Like a Pro, an opportunity to learn the Nepali language, a poetry talk, a program about Civil War ancestry, and an examination of the book Huckleberry Finn. Unfortunately, with the horrific rainstorms that we've had this summer, the Faxon Branch Library suffered greatly from flooding. Although work was done to stop water from coming into the Faxon basement in 2018 and 2019, including putting additional pumps outside of the building to prevent water from coming into the basement and the elevator pit, the library suffered significant flooding in most areas of the basement this year. Due to the fact that most items were on pallets or storage shelves, few items were damaged and no books were damaged. Water came through the window from the server room or janitor's room, from the floor in the storage room, and into the staff lounge. Town facilities management staff and a contractor inspected the drainage system on the Woodlawn Street side of the building with a camera. It was found that the drain pipe previously installed had collapsed, resulting in all the water being pumped from the pump outside the elevator pit, coming into the building, once the water pressure was built up outside. Work is scheduled in mid-October to repair and excavate the collapsed drain pipe. The town was very quick to respond to all of the problems at the Faxon branch, including having one maintainer stay there throughout the night. And they will be responsive to checking the gutters, now clogged or soon to be clogged with dead leaves, to avoid roof leakage at that building. Neither the Noah Webster nor the Bishop's Corner Branch Library suffered any flooding damage. Leaking from the ceiling at the Bishop's Corner Branch Library has hopefully ended. Ceiling tiles will now be replaced in the areas damaged by the leaking. Repairs to the roof and consultations about possible leaks from the air conditioner and subsequent remediation has hopefully solved this problem. A second recruitment for the position of part-time program and publicity specialist, due to the fact that we were not able to find a suitable candidate in the first recruitment, is now in place and will close on September 30th. This is a 15-hour per week position. And that concludes my report for September. Thank you.
Jill, you're muted.
Sorry, thank you, Janet. Carol, thank you for the report, especially we haven't heard from you live for a couple months, so thank you for giving us all the detail. Lots going on. I'd like to open it up for anyone to ask questions. If you want to be recognized, please raise your hand. Quiet group tonight. Right. Carol, thank you very much. I think that's our last agenda item this month. Our next meeting will be October 25th, and it's in our new virtual format. It's now regular meetings in our new virtual format. I want to thank Janet for going to the training to figure out how to run both the WebEx and the YouTube all at the same time. And I think we're getting the hang of running two things at once, so that worked great. Our next meeting again is October 25th, and I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Chair recognizes Eileen Daly.
I motion that we adjourn.
Do we have a second? Chair recognizes Natalia Menjivar.
Natalia Menjivar, library board member, second.
Thank you. Motion has been made to adjourn the meeting and been seconded. I'd like to now call the roll. Kim Cohen.
Kim Cohen, library board member. I am in favor of adjournment.
Gail Crockett.
Gail Crockett, now in the dark. Gail Crockett, now in the dark. I second the motion to adjourn the meeting. See, I only have eyes lit up.
Getting ready for Halloween there with your.
I'm ready for Halloween.
Okay, thank you, Gail. Eileen Daly.
Eileen Daly, library board member. I agree that we adjourn.
And Natalia Menjivar.
Natalia Menjivar, library board member, in favor.
And Jill Spear, I agree to adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. And the meeting is adjourned.
Night.
Night, everyone.
Good night.